Today we are talking about the movie Oku. The movie takes place in the 18th century, during the reign of a Japanese dynasty called Shotoku. For a while, it covers the country with a dangerous disease called red chickenpox. It is good news only for men, and it is so angry that 8 out of 8 men die from it, causing a drastic decline in the male population, with only 1 man for every 4 women, whereupon women take all the powerful political and economic positions they previously held, while women are also held responsible for doing all the labor and construction work to provide income for the family. Men are treated as treasures and are kept in the house, only taking care of themselves is being with women who want to look beautiful and have children. They are considered as potential luxury items that can only be afforded by the ladies of rich families. Some men also work as prostitutes to support their families. In this matriarchal society, their family barely conditions their bellies. The young son of a madman Cin loves swordsmanship and is great in the future. He wants to be a warrior. Even though his financial situation is very bad, he will never allow the mother of the one who has the talent to engage in prostitution. For Eunice, he is very loyal to his mother and loves her very much. While other men spend most of their time wearing makeup and beautiful dresses, Euro-Chinese samurai exercises, he is a talented swordsman, as well as having a baby. He is also famous for helping women who want to become women for free. Many of his daughters come to his house to ask for him, but he rejects each of them and tells his mother that she should focus on a suitable man for her sister. On the other hand, her friend from Greece falls in love with her. Since she is from a rich family, the home will approach her, and he cannot show the courage to jeopardize the financial. He is aware of the financial and status difference between the 2 families and prefers to stay away from it. In the next scene, he decides to join the harem of the harem, hiding for Eunice. They learn that this will fix the financial and change to keep him away from here. And he finds her before joining the Eurovision school, which has become the center of attention to attract her attention. She tries to stop him from doing this, but after giving him a kiss for Eunice, he goes. Yumo's comes to the castle and calls Matsushima, one of the high-ranking members in the school, to let her join the group. They accept and show Yumo's comes to the descent as a cleaner and as a servant to high-ranking men. It is said that they are initially satisfied with Matsushima maids and will move on to higher ranks if they are to be sure of their loyalty. Meanwhile, we learn that the current lady majority is only 7 years old, so we prepare to win the hearts of the students, and it is time to prosper to reduce the competition. This Masuchi Blue Lotion is the highest ranking man in the school. Before leaving inheritances, Matsushima Euro Shirna read and not a single word about them to anyone outside. He says the word warning, then he comes to life for Eunice, and the other members of the same rank greet him, and he is bullied by a group of men. The bullies make fun of his hairstyle and lifestyle, but he shows them using Euro-Chinese samurai apps. Then he tells the bullies why this hairstyle is important for samurai. He gives a speech about being the first action at school. He never complains, given more work than the other members of the group in the Euro, and yet, while completing it, bullies bother him. They kick him while carrying food, and they are punished with blows for days hungry. He thinks moving into one night is nice and wants to satisfy his physical desires. 3. It is run by a high-ranking man. Fortunately, the Greek now blocks them and reports to one of his daily colleagues for a month. Talks to this person about what happened to him tonight. Explaining also Euro is explained by people who can establish relationships with high-ranking men. He says that getting promoted to a higher rank has increased. Eunice did this. Complaining that he wants to help women have children instead of giving them a life purpose, he goes and looks at them. After looking at them for a while, he starts to apply dojo moves using the broom in his hand. Meanwhile, he is noticed by Fusion, but Maka Leaf asks him to join the others. Fujinuma Yumo's is idle. For this reason, although the men of his nest rank are allowed to practice dojo, he makes an exception and allows Euro China to fight with Sonoko, one of the most successful do battle at the moment. Everyone Eunice laughs again and thinks edible, but surprisingly in a short time Yumo's intro dark. Even though he is defeated, Tsuruko beats him because Servet makes fun of his dojo talent. Later in the night, school with sushi Thai for Eunice changes the negative change of the situation. Tsukushi shows how the school helps him earn money for his family and move on with his life. For Eunice, who says this, because he is in a family that supports him. The next day the news that his wife beat Sulakoi is known to everyone, and the other men begin to storm Eunice and compliment him. Sirako, who is despised by a storm for his loss, approaches Yuro at night and challenges him to another confrontation. At first Eunice refuses, but later high-ranking men, after a fierce battle, which is forced because his order cannot be resisted, Turo is rebuilt and takes his own life out of shame. Seeing that he is dying, Yuro now approaches him and mercifully cuts off his head, and one day, the 7-year-old Lady Shogun gathers due to an expected possible incident and immediately carries out its annual processes, where the great strong and disciplined majority of the place plans to work for the good of the country, to fix the economy, to fix this courageous recovery. And the arms of a woman who always offers a beautiful appearance. Sock's preaching outfit enters the public. He witnesses men being worked and mistreated in brothels. Meanwhile, the men in the school are excited. A destructive competition begins to impress the regenerative shock. Only the superstructure is available. Sock gets in the way. It is allowed. Therefore, Euro China has no chance of meeting her. Fortunately, on the same night, Milano, who likes it, now calls her and keeps her promoted. Now she can compete with others for the service of the queen. Yumo's enters meets with Kala and chooses a plain-colored dress with a minimal design. This is followed by he works hard up to the neck and prepares a beautiful dress for Eunice. He works softly, but does nothing. He kisses this head to appreciate it. All his high-level data are known. The day comes when we gather to greet this and that, while other men wear bright colors and patterned clothes. Minimal Eunice, who is given a designer black dress, becomes a laughing stock. After a short time, Lady Shogun arrives and is accepted with her head bowed. She catches the skirt of her dress and hears a movement from behind. Lady Shogun immediately turns back and asks who is laughing. She takes the blame for Yumo's in order to save the man next to her. Noticing her simple dress, Lady Shogun approaches her and asks her name. The next night, Fusion was pregnant, surprising all those who invited her to do it. Fusion was pregnant. He states that his head will be cut off and adds that a large payment will be made to the family. It was obvious that he accepts the punishment for destroying it. He agrees to sleep with Sock. Lady Shogun is also informed about Little. Lady Shogun is very surprised and speechless by the adults. In a board game action, we learn how to decapitate the Euro wife, and later we learn that Matsushima and Fusion were seen as an extreme rival and purposely got rid of her. Matsushima plans to impress Lady Shogun at the end of his Greek wife and become the father of the children, from beyond. Before preparing for the night where Lady Shogun will pass for Greek, he makes this cry to her, puts on some makeup. His baby approaches the integrity of the external growth. Lady Shogun comes and starts to ask the first step in the conversation, is it said that is her name? Dollars with tears in the eyes of the Greek she, who learns that the shogun's name resembles him for his love of independence. Later, he spends his last night with a person with a similar name. Afterwards, one of the Chinese men cuts the neck of the Greek person for a year and is executed. While Sika and Sita are crying over the death of his Greek wife, his family receives a letter of condolence from a patient for Eunice and some money. A few weeks later, Eunice finds him with flowers in his hand. He came to visit his grave here. You learn that Yumo's good still did this and couldn't forget him. While wiping his scream at him, he instantly finds Yumo's good in front of him. It turns out that the good-hearted Lady Shogun secretly sent someone to save him from execution and he lied about dying to get rid of the school. Today, he breaks and cuts him. He hugs her and promises that she will never be abandoned again. In the last scene, Lady Sock can live a life of her own and frees all the men in the school to ease this serious burden on the economy. He can help other women have children. He can even make some money for them to start new. To win, that's all for today. I hope you liked it. Subscribe for more content like this and hit the like button to help us. Also, if you want to summarize your favorite movie, leave us a comment. Goodbye. Subscribe next time to be selected.